The last polarization that we're going to deal with in this series is the polarization between your human self and your higher self, your spiritual self. Now, what I've found in my own journey is that for a long time I was really revering my spiritual self and that spiritual source a lot more than I was my human self. Now, I think some of that's necessary. But as I progressed in my journey, I realized that my human self really needed to be in alignment with my higher self. But my higher self needed to be in alignment with my human self as well. There needed to be a reciprocity between my spiritual aspirations and my human abilities to be able to project those aspirations or achieve those aspirations. I remember one particular experience in my life when, in fact, it was when I was starting to write the Inner Child Workbook, and I was just getting idea after idea after idea. And finally I realized I had to take charge. I had to control that in some way. I had to manage it as a human self, because what was going to happen is I was going to burn myself out. And I remember this incident where I just stopped. I was out running, and I just stopped, and I said to my higher self, "You have got to slow down. This is going to burn me out, and I am not going to be able to complete this project." There has to be a healthy respect between the rate and the pacing of you bringing this information in and my ability to process it and to work with it so that I can get it out. Well, that was a beautiful exchange, because all of a sudden I was claiming my right on a human level to be respected just as much as I was respecting my higher self. Now, another version of that came when I wrote a piece called "The Battle Between My Personality and My Soul." And I'm going to post that with this blog today, because that was when I really had it out with my soul. And I said, look, you know, you may have charted all these things, but I'm down here slushing away, having to learn your lessons. And the least that you can do is be appreciative of that fact. So some of you, if you feel like you have that battle between your spiritual self and what your human self can really attain and manage, you'll appreciate that. In this EFT sequence, we're just going to bring reciprocity to those two parts of self. All right, so let's begin. Even though I'm fully aware that I am a spiritual being having this human experience, I am equally aware that my spiritual self cannot be expressed unless I have a healthy reverence for this human physical form through which I am brought through. So even though it's easy for me to revere my spiritual self and to dismiss my physical needs, I'm now willing to recognize the need for reciprocity and for respect. And I choose to come into relationship with both selves. So even though I see this polarization between my spiritual aspirations and my physical needs, I now choose to revere both sides of me, to come into a complete state of acceptance and reverence, so that together these two parts of me can operate in harmony to attain our goals. All right, so let's begin working with this teeter-totter this either or, and I hope this part of the series is really giving you that inspiration, that model, to begin to look at, okay, what are these sides of me? If I have this in operation, who's on the other side of that teeter-totter? And how can I balance those? All right, so we've done the setup phrase. Let's do the neutralization. This human self, this spiritual self. Sometimes they're at odds. The human self has needs of the flesh. The spiritual self does not. I now come into the realization that both sides of me have merit and deserve to be revered. I love my spiritual self. I love being connected to my source. I love vibrating with that energy and holding the higher intentions of good. But I can't execute those ideas. I can't manifest those dreams in the etheric realm. I'm here in this body to learn how to bring that spiritual frequency into this physical domain. So I choose to operate in complete harmony, complete respect, complete reciprocity between these two sides of myself. I choose to integrate spirit with form so that together they can dance, so that my human aspirations can be infused with spirit, so they can be spiritually directed instead of directed by the ego of this plane. If my goals are spiritually infused, then my physical form can proceed with a vibrational frequency that acknowledges both, that encompasses both, that reflects both, and results in a harmony and a balance within. Thank you, thank you, thank you.